Today, let's have a short discussion about creating output from a shell script. We've already done that in some other assignments and discussions, but today we're going to look at it in a little bit more formalized way. I guess the way to start is to look at a script. So I have a little script here that is named os-choose.sh, and you can see I've run that script, and all it is a well, quite simple preference poll. What do you prefer, Unix on Sun OS or Linux Red Hat? And you can just make a choice of one or two, and then you are given thanks for making your choice of Linux Red Hat. We could run that again, and let's just try to make a wrong choice. And oh, that's actually taken into consideration. Can't make up your mind, and the shell script ends. So let's look at the internals and see what's going on. So of course, every script starts with the shebang bin bash, and then a variable is created, OSCH operating system choice, and that is set to 0. We are using the echo with the -e, and I want you to look that up on the man page, the -e flag, and we are outputting to the screen the title of our exercise, which is just preference poll, and then the 2 numbered lines for the Unix and the Linux are output to the screen, and then echo with the -n. I think we saw that before. Again, use the man page so that you understand -n, and the prompt. Select your OS choice 1 or 2, and read one of the ways that we discussed on how to get data into a script via a user prompt. Then the value, see, when we read, we just use the name of the variable. Now, if the value of that OSCH equals 1, we're going to write the thanks for making your choice of Sun OS. Notice we use the escape character so that we can continue onto 2 lines. If, then, and then an else. So here's an example of one of the features of the if statement. We can create an else clause. The hash marks indicate commentary, so all the text after this is not executed by any interpreter, just there for explanation. So another if statement is nested inside that else, looking for the value of OSCH being equal to 2. At this point, we echo. Echo just sends text out to standard out, which by default is the screen. And finally, the last else. So if it didn't match 1, didn't match 2, anything else creates the output. Can't make up your mind. Phi is the ending block for the if, and I've used indentation so that for me or anyone else that reads the script. They can match these up and be very comfortable reading it. And that's the end. So in this script, we used the echo with really 3 different formations: a simple echo, an echo with the -e, and an echo with the -n. So I urge you to look in the man page to understand those formulations and see how we can simply output some text to the screen. Now, a problem that we've been looking at throughout the class is one to look up telephone numbers from a file of employee data. So let's first look at that file, and we can see that we have a colon separated list of data, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 6 columns in our information. And what we want to do is to write a script that will take 1 or 2 parameters on the command line. So the second way you can get data into the script via the command line. And then if 1 parameter is given, then we look up by well, could be last name or first name, but just one of the names. And then if the 2 parameters are given, we have to be stricter and find the correct match for both of those names. So I'm not going to write the script for you, but we're just going to go through some of the ideas in that script. So we will start by looking at a structure. Shebang bin bash starts the script. I've used an if clause with the -f. So how you can look up the options in the if is really through the man page for test. Test was the original command to compare. So the -f indicates, does an entity exist, and is it a file? So the bang in front of it means, and reverse the sense of that entire test. So if I read this all in one sentence, it's saying if there is no employees file, then echo the file employee is missing, and then exit. I exit with a number that I made up. I'm the script creator, so I'm choosing this exit code of 6 to represent a file being missing. Other scripts that might call this script or the shell command line can test for this exit code and then be able to use that information in further action. we see some positional parameters. Okay, these are the items that came into my script from the command line. So first positional parameter, I'm assigning to first name. Second positional parameter, I'm assigning to the last name. You may want to do this in a different order in the script that you're writing. This is just examples. And then I said when only one parameter is supplied, and again, this is a comment because we see the tic-tac-toe sign or the hash mark, then I'm just going to use grep to do a search. So if this variable, first name, has data in it, that's just the super simple way to do that test. So if first name is not null, in other words, then I'm asking to grep for that data in my employees file and redirect that output to a temporary spot, just a file that I named temp. Okay. There could be more than one match. Okay. Could be more than one. If I look for a first name, there could be more than one person with that same first name. There could be more than one person with the same last name. We have to be, robust. And then I'm using this input field separator special variable, setting that to the colon because I know that employees file was separated by colons. Then I'm catting out that temp file. So that's just like, spewing all the data out and piping that to a while loop. Okay. So let me come down here. And you can see that while always starts with do, ends with done. And then I'm just using the simple echo to take the first name and phone number of anything that got stored in that temp file and put it out to the screen. All right. This, again, not formatted output, just sort of a rough cut. So let's see what happens. So again, you can see the employees' data, and I'm going to run my script with just a first name. And there were indeed 2 matches in this case, and we can see that there were 2 Lauras. And the 2 different telephone numbers are output to the screen. Okay. Now, the assignment really asks for more than this. This is just a rough beginning. But I actually do want to tell you a little bit more about another useful command for creating much more formatted output, and that is the command printf. And I'm going to direct your attention to a web page, and I will include the full URL. You'll see it in a comment or cartoon bubble at the side. It's linuxjournal.com/content and then / the name of the article. Bash's built-in printf function. And it is something very useful for you to take a look at. And I urge you to do that. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to implement this inside of my lookup tell shell script. So let's go back into my script. And we can see that this echo was really just sort of, a super rough cut. I've replaced the echo at the end of my script with something called the printf that we just saw the article about. I also added several printf statements to put in some titles or column headings, actually. So let's take a look at what's happening. If you read about printf, you can see that there is possible to specify, it's sort of like placeholder formatting. So what this means is I'm going to have place for a string, and I want to reserve 16 character positions for that string. Then I'm still using the \T for a tab, and then simply a free-formed string will follow. Down in this final printf, I'm actually printing my variable from first name, last name, and phone, but I'm allocating 8 character positions for the first name, 8 for the last name, and then 3 tabs and a free-form string at the end. So it's best to understand what's going on by watching the program run. So let us run really with the same input data that we had used previously. And you can see how much prettier, organized we can create our output with printf. So I urge you to read about it, and I urge you to practice and use echo when it's appropriate and printf.